We were just talking about the musicality in dance and how this is one of the issues which poses to be a bit of a challenge for any of the dancers, because even in the traditional margam, each of these varnams or the tilanas or the padams have a set format which is known as the mid, the basic way of singing it. And unless that is truly followed, the variations then come later. The first basic structure has to be very clearly understood and notated and learned. The Swara Sahitya has to be written properly and learned. And that a musician's intervention sometimes is necessary for that. And it's nice if in any institution there is a musician attached to the institution, then it becomes easier to sit and notate and understand. Otherwise, books are available today. You can always kind of learn from the book where the notations are available. But that kind of patience has to be taken to really sit and to decode the notation and to understand. Because many times what happens is the musician also has learned it from somewhere, and if the dancer doesn't know the basic music, she's not able to tell the musician where it is not following the regular, the original pattern. So that understanding has to be there, which the guru has to give the student, so that she can tell the musician that this is the basic format of the. Also, I think today, with people traveling a lot and musicians not being available, recorded music has become one of the accepted things that we need to. So then within that, how do you create rasa? We have to see, because this is one of the constraints, because it's a luxury to have live musicians. So then you perform to the same music again and again, more responsibility rests on the dancer to improvise within that given set of sangatis or given set of, because not to repeat the same thing, tendency to repeat the same thing will be there because it's the same phrase which is being repeated. So you require more work to do more introspection. For the same phrase, how can you do different kinds of interpretation? So that becomes a more of work, I think, for the dancer to really come up with options. Any questions on this? Or this is something that all the time people are discussing, music for dance.
Now, what happens when someone who's learning dance is not so well equipped with music or doesn't have a training? How does that person train himself or herself to understand the music for dance?
No shortcut. You have to learn music. Because how can you understand the music if you don't learn it? It's like saying, I want to do medicine but I will not do biology. You can't do certain things without really going through the route of learning it. There are certain subjects which are completely, absolutely indispensable when you're learning dance. So absolutely no shortcut for understanding the route. How much ever you might understand the format, learning music and doing it has a different feel altogether to it, rather than just guessing and vaguely understanding the route. Like Sona Sastya used to always give this example of Saga Sugada. Soga Suga. Now that oscillation, if you don't know, that, you will be Soga Suga. This is how it will be. Suga. So there is no hasta, only one hasta. How do you do it? How do you teach it? So the main problem when you come to Padam Jami. You are lost completely if you don't understand those nuances. Because the words are spaced so far away. There are no hastas. You can't fill it up with hastas and create a narrative of your own. It is following the route of the music. There's no other way. Suguna. There's only one word. Suguna. If you don't know that, Venu Gopala. Now Pala, there's nothing. Venu Gopal, yahan tak ho gaya. this Sambodhana, pala, pala. So that is where the music and dance, you just cannot separate. Poetry, music, dance, these three are so intertwined that I find it difficult to kind of say where the poetry ends, where the music ends, where the dance starts. You know, it's very difficult, hard
Which inform each other.
to kind of say. So, and every hasta is related to the Sangadi. Every idea is related to Sangadi. Suguna, Suguna. Both are so different in attitude. So naturally then the attribute that you associate to Suguna becomes different. Suguna तो word है. Good qualities. Suguna, Suguna.
So you change the.
So obviously the mood changes with the song. Venu Gopala. You know, Venu Gopala. So every little thing is associated with music. So very, very hard to kind of, you know, dissociate it. In the same way, if you go to a Varnam, the Varnam also the same thing is there. Now, the Puri Kalyani Varnam, if you take Swami Shulladi Sakhiye Kumara. This is the first line. So the way you sing it makes all the difference. First is Swami Shulladi Sakhiye Kumara. You know which Lord? The Lord Kumara. Then you say Swami, the brave one. So you don't say Swami, Swami, plead. Shulladi, please say. Sakhiye, oh my dear Sakhi. Sakhiye, Sakhiye, Kumara. You know he rides a peacock. So as you speak, you sing. It's so close to the way you do.
And the musician.
Musician has to understand this. Musician has to understand that this is the ideal situation. That's how dance can reach levels of real good quality. Of course, this is an ideal situation. When the dancer knows music, when the musician knows dance. So so you can't really separate. There is no shortcut to not learning music because you have to learn music, and then Puri Kalyani's possibilities. What are the Puri Kalyani possibilities? You must know. And then accordingly the Sangadis can be knitted. And then it grows as a whole story. You know?
A lot of times Akka, we go for festivals and they make it mandatory to perform with live musicians. And it's obviously very difficult with the kind of money that is being offered by the festival to actually take accompanist with you. So they say, बहुत musician है यहाँ पे, choose from here. So actually even people don't understand that you cannot just randomly start working with anybody.
This is not like music, where the sarangi player or the the harmonium player, tabla player, just accompany. This is not accompanying. This is performing with you. Accompanying is a different idea. These are not accompanists. It's a wrong notion of saying they are accompanists. They are literally dancing with you.
Yeah, they're integral to the performance.
You can't perform without them. So there is no question of picking up. Of course, melody may be still possible. Adding on a flutist or a violinist is still, you can notate things, and because they are still kind of not in the main. But the Natavanar, the Mridangist and the musician and the dancer, I think these people just are constantly in dialogue. one not being in sync can completely break the entire balance. So I think the harmony happens only if these are working in close tandem and are in close synchronized kind of a harmonious way. Of course, I'm talking about the ideal situation. But we have to know what the ideal situation can be to really even aspire to get there.
Yes.
You know? So if you don't know what the ideal situation is, then anything is okay. You know? So yes, ideal situation is always difficult to attain. That's why in olden times maybe if Balama had her own mother singing, you know, naturally it's a gift that they all had at that time, the luxury of having musicians constantly with them. But we must try, because prioritize. Music is very important for dance. There's no getting away from there. As much as recording is also equally expensive. It's not as though recording can be done just for the asking. Recording also is nowadays expensive. So I think this is a constant struggle where a dancer has to constantly be juggling and prioritizing and seeing how best she can access good musicians, work with good musicians, so that the performances are of a caliber which can showcase the dancer and her best potential. Any other question? Radhika, I think you have a question.
Akka, when you choreograph an idea, how do you, like you are Carnatic vocalist and you have a sense of music, so you have a particular raga in your mind maybe when you choreograph that idea, and when the musicians come into the picture, if they don't agree with, say, your raga fitting in that idea, how do you deal with that?
It's a sensitive thing, because every musician thinks they know everything and that the dancer really doesn't know enough music to be able to tell them. But I think the dancer has that extra feel. You know, so the dancer, if she says that that particular raga is what will work for her, the musician must give her a patient hearing. Because they should tell us that their constraints. If they feel that they cannot sing it in that particular raga, there's some problem vis-a-vis, that's a different issue. But the fact is, the dancer knows best. If she knows music and she's saying that that particular raga is what she's going to be most comfortable in to express that particular emotion, then I think the musician has to take heed to that and pay heed to that. And there are subtle ways of making them understand that this is what you want. But at the same time, what I do is, I don't block them. I tell them, okay, you give me two options. Let's see what your options are. Because they are also creative people, and many times their options are also equally valid and good. And if they are more comfortable singing that in that particular raga and it equally works for you, there's no harm. There is no ego issue here. It's that I suggested and I want only this. There's nothing like that. So I think it's a dialogue again. You know, so we work out 2-3 options and see which is the best option, and then take that forward and work on it, and consensus on everything. Even if because my flutist has been with me for the last 10 years, so it's equal say in how we are doing. Many times I ask him as to will this melody work or the other melody, because he knows very much of dance now. He's watched so much of dance, so he's also giving his input into the melodic aspect of the dance. So the melodic aspect is what is, I think, keeps the interest in the dance sustained and gives the whole continuity. So one has to give a lot of emphasis to it. Many times what happens, the dancer is so preoccupied with the dance, you don't sometimes listen to what's happening there. The ear has to be always very alive to what they are playing and what, because many times you get ideas from the way they play something, or you have to correct them also. As a dancer, this is not the way I would like it, and I would like it a little different way.
You can give them.
Of course you have to, because ultimately it's your comfort that is most important on stage. Sometimes a link doesn't work. Somewhere you're finishing something and next idea is coming, and the link, thoda sa you're not comfortable with it. You have to say that the link is not working. You need to work at the link. You need to see that there is, and you must not keep too many things very fluid. You must fix things. Many times what we say is, ये जैसे भी वो घुमा फिरा के इसको खत्म कर देना and then you can start the next. No, क्या बजा के खत्म करोगे? You know, what is it that you're going to play and finish? Because many times they also, want the easy way out and keep a free kind of a thing. So what happens then is 5-6 hours extra going, you're just standing there, waiting for the next phrase to start, frozen expression. The dancer's on stage, he's being watched. His environment is not going to be शाबाशी के लिए वो कोई बजा रहा है तो वो नहीं हमारे लिए नहीं चलता ना. That just doesn't work for us. We have a space like many times you see dancers waiting for the next. Shouldn't happen. Or else you should have the intelligence then to fill it up with some aesthetic pose or next stanza, what is coming, you continue that. Many times this happens when the link between the first half and the second half. So you must know what he's going to play to some extent. Somebody who's worked with many times, you know what are the chords he normally plays, you know the length of it, so you adjust it accordingly. But many times when the young dancers are dancing, I say, oh my God, poor thing, why is she standing like this again? She doesn't know when it's going to start, she's looking here, they're looking at the teacher, These are things which need to be maybe sorted out and put in place. You should not leave it random like that. I mean, this is just an example. Many such places where you, in some places where the Anupallavi or the Charanam starts not in Sama, but after the Sama, for example, child finds it difficult to catch it. So you must aid the child to the students to understand the Tala and fix it in such a way that it's easy to. There should be no tension there. They should know, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to get the Sama or am I going to get it right? That tension shows on the face then. Those kinds of things have to be avoided completely. So to be well oiled, the whole system, so that you should be aware of all these things. Awareness is most important, and then automatically you'll do it. Many times you are so preoccupied with your own performance, your adamus, your sequencing, that you don't pay attention to the musicians as to what is happening on their side of the story. But ultimately it's all going to be one whole. People are going to be seeing everything together. And so it's not going to be separate, they did their bit, you did your bit. It's going to be all seen in one frame. So one has to understand the overall picture. Any more questions on this? On the musicality of dance? Musicality of the use, how you use it. Can we do the namaskar? We take the next class.